And good evening, hockey fans in Newfoundland and Labrador, across Canada and around the world via the internet. We welcome you inside the Windsor Stadium here in Grand Falls, Windsor, for this evening's game between the Traction Central Impact and the Trypan Osprey. This is the home opener for the Impact. They played 4 games earlier. The teams had their kickoff opening tournament out on the East Coast a couple of weeks ago. The Impact came away with a record of 2 wins and 2 losses after those 4 games. For the Trypan Osprey, they've been involved in some very close games. They've played 5. They've played 1 more game since the kickoff. They lost 2 games outright, but the other 3 games all went to overtime. They've got 2 overtime losses, 1 overtime win. So a bit of a hard luck start for the Osprey. They've been very close in their games. Unfortunately, lost a couple of those overtime games. So they will meet here this evening at the Windsor Stadium. George got here along with cameraman Jason Power. Robert Golding will be joining us tomorrow here in the broadcast booth to provide color commentary. I'll go solo this evening. Kind of used to it. Spent the summer calling the Canadian Ball Hockey Championships up in Ontario, and over the course of 16 days did 95 games. No color commentator. So Jason just looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, 95 games in 16 days in Mississauga. I was up at the Paramount Fine Food Center. It used to be the Hershey Center there in Mississauga. It's where the Steelheads play in the Canadian Junior Hockey League, Canadian Hockey League, and also the home of the Raptor 905, the Toronto Raptors farm team in the G League for the NBA. Beautiful arena, about the size of Mile 1. It seated about 5,000 people. I spent 16 days there and had a great time. Now back to ice hockey. So during the summer, I had to remember to say floor, ball, and foot. Now I got to remember to say it's puck, ice, and skate. I got to make the transition. So we just, teams have finished their warm-ups, and we're going to get a little bit of a delay to the start of the game because the Impact, as this is their home opener, as I mentioned, they're going to introduce all of their players individually at the start of the game. So we'll get to meet them. Some new players from last year. Of course, with the under-18 age group hockey, it's always you get guys for 2, maybe 3 years at most, and they move on. So there's always new guys coming in. Team never stays the same from one year to the next. So we're just waiting for that to get underway. They're still just getting the nets ready at both ends of the ice. Get the pegs put down, screwed in tight. May notice our new score bug. Real pleased with that one. It's got the colors up there, and we've got the logos for the teams. We have a few other things a little bit different as we move along. We'll keep an eye on that. Should be fun, a way of showing our penalties, and we can put a few more things up there as the game goes on. Something brand new. The officials making their way out onto the ice, and here come the Trypan Osprey down to our left. They make their way out. So we'll get the announcements from the PA announcer. Number 2, Owen Snow, Bishop's Falls. Kalen Connors, number 3. Quinn Price, this is his 3rd year with the Impact. Carter Haggett, back from last year. Jackson Ingram, again his 3rd year with the team. Aaron Badcock, new player this year. Adam Byrne, who was a star for this team last year out of Gander. Will Clendenning, 2nd year with the team for Grand Falls, Windsor. Michael Burke, Bishop's Falls. Number 11, Jack Boone. Number 12, Landon Hibbs. Injured, not playing. Kagan Hounsell, back from last year. Landon Gale. Number 19, Graham Pittman had a great year for the Impact last year. Number 23, Owen Parsons. Number 26, Eric Bath, another new player, as is number 27, Ethan Pitcher. Number 94, Caden Hillier returning from last year. Another new player, Anthony Hurley, number 95. Goaltenders, number 33, Liam Hicks, and number 34, Jaden Lynch. Third goaltender on the team, AP player Roger O'Brien, not dressed tonight. Time now for the national anthem. High hopes for the Impact this year. They've looked good in their opening 4 games. They were missing some key players at that kickoff tournament earlier this month. So they've got everybody in the lineup tonight. And we'll see what this one brings. Again, it's the Impact against the Osprey. Impact in the home whites, Osprey in the darker jerseys with the gold. Starting in goal for the Impact, it's number 33, Liam Hicks. And for the Osprey, number 31, Andrew Ackerman. We didn't have Ackerman the last time these two teams met when the Impact won the game in the kickoff tournament between the Osprey and the Impact. Impact didn't have Adam Byrne, a couple of others. Kagan Hounsel wasn't involved either. That's tipped right in front. Ackerman kept it out. Tipped by Connors, who got in front of the goal. So a slightly different team, or two different teams as they meet here in Grand Falls, Windsor this evening. Back at the point, kept in by Quinn Price, throws it into the corner. On it there is Byrne. Byrne turning, leaves it along the boards. He'll backhand it in. Byrne will pick it up. Tried to throw it out in front, went off the defense. Unable to get it out. The Osprey, that shot kicked away by Ackerman, comes back to Price. Price holds it, shot blocked by the defense. Boone takes it off the boards. Jack Boone went off a skate, goes behind the goal. Harnham has it. Again, can't get it out. Early pressure by the Impact. Throw it out in front off the pad of Ackerman, back at the point. Boone cycles it back down low. Byrne waiting for it back there. Adam Byrne threw it right through the crease, comes out the other side. Price has got it. Price down into the corner. Back in behind the net. Byrne trying to chip it out in front. Now it's picked up by Burry. Burry trying to get it out for Osprey. He can. He was knocked down. Puck comes in front. Ingram with a chance. That goes over the top of the goal. Back at the point. Price will hold it in. Quinn Price in along the boards. Great start here for the Impact. Can't get one past Andrew Ackerman yet, though. Over the other side. Brought in as the Impact are changing. They'll drop it off. This is Boone to this side. Thrown through the crease again. That was Hurley. Keeping the pressure on. Hounsel's got it. Hounsel keeps it onside. Backhands it down behind the goal. Back there first. It's Burke. All the action down to our left here in the early parts of this opening period. Just a little over 2 minutes in. Pitcher throws it behind the goal. Hurley waiting for it on the other side. That'll come out over the blue line. Played back in. Impact will clear the zone. Back to pick it up. Josh Simmons for the Osprey. Simmons, that one off a stick. Stays in the corner. Impact on it again. Battle down in along the boards. Picked up by Hurley. Hurley trying to get himself free. Penalty coming up against the Osprey. Back to pitcher. Throw it the other side. Down in along the boards. Right in front, they score! On the delayed penalty, the Impact make it 1-0. Michael Burke. Let's have a look. Again, the Osprey had a chance to clear it, couldn't get it out. Kept in by the Impact. They throw it across. You see Burke, number 10, at the side of the net. Puck comes to him and he puts it home. And it is 1-0 in favor of the Impact. Again, we have trouble getting the time up. We usually have a clock that shoots the time clock in the stadium. We've mentioned this before here at the Windsor Stadium. For some reason, the bulbs in the time clock are very, let's say, dim. And we're shooting through the mesh down at the end, so a little tough to get it. Over at the Joe Byrne, we shoot right across at the clock. It's a much clearer image of the time. I'll give it to you. A little tough to see. We've got 16:34 to go. Opening period, 1-0 for the Impact. Face-off in the Impact end. First time the puck's been down to our right here in this first period. It's been all Impact so far. Haggett off the boards. That'll get out to center. Puck at center. Dumped in by the Osprey. Back to get it. Haggett. Will come out to center. Stop there. Osprey try and dump it in. Hit the linesman over there. Stays along the boards. Clark throws it behind the net. Back to get it. Quinn Price. He's pushed against the boards by Baldwin. Puck in behind the net. Aaron pass picked off back at the blue line. It'll go off a skate out into center. And that'll be held by Hicks. And we'll get a face-off in the Impact end again. Got past the defenseman, goes down deep into the Osprey end. Back to get it is Simmons. He kept in back at the point, went off a skate. Comes all the way back into the Impact end. Price has got to hustle back to get it. Price chips it off the boards. Was looking to get it to Boone. Now Boone's away. That pass did not connect. Good play at center. Knocked down there by Price. Connors has got it. Connors turns. Kalen Connors dumps it in. Off the glove of Simmons into the corner. Simmons back to retrieve it. Gets it ahead to Chubbs. Yeah, they can't get it out. It's held along the boards. Impact have it. Simmons to the boards. Boone pinching in from the right point. Butler reverses it. Gets it to Burry. Burry into the middle, pass not taken cleanly, and Hurley's got it. Hurley with a shot stopped by the defense. Ingram following up on it, knocked out of the air. Kept in, back at the blue line by Boone, throws it behind the net. Connors is in there, threw it out in front, cleared away. It'll get out. So it went between Price and Boone. Elms turning, overskated it. Price overskated it as well. It is a very warm day, warm, humid day here in Grand Falls, Windsor. Temperature got up around 20. Right in front, Burke with another chance. Ackerman makes the save. Michael Burke looking for his second goal of this opening period. Denied by a great stop by the Osprey goaltender, Andrew Ackerman. Pitcher, left point shot. That got through. Ackerman's got that as well. Shots on goal, 7-0 favoring the Impact here early in the first. 13:51 to go in the opening period. It'll come out to center. Back to pick it up. Owen Snow to Burke. Ahead to Hounsell. Hounsell with some speed. Drops it off on the right side. And the shot by Byrne is tipped over the top of the net. It'll stay in the Trypan end. Glad to have you with us here on opening night here at the Windsor Stadium. Game 2 of this 3-game series. That's thrown right in front. It's loose in front, tipped over the top of the net. Impact stay on it. I was going to say game 2 of this 3-game weekend series takes place tomorrow night here at the Windsor Stadium. 7:10 is the start time. Scheduled. Shot in by the Osprey. Pitcher will go back to get it for the Impact. Reverses it to the other side to Snow. Snow gets it ahead to Hounsell. Hounsell turning back in his own end, moves it up ahead. This is Byrne. Byrne in over the blue line. He'll hold it. Little delay into the middle to Hurley. Hurley with a shot. Snapped it over the top of the net. Haggett couldn't hold it in at the blue line. Hillier going back to get it. Russell watching him. Trypan were changing. Nice tip off the boards. Gets it to Clendenning. Clendenning with some speed. Clendenning in front. Hurley had his stick lifted. And a good defensive play by Gavin Lane of Trypan. He got back and lifted the stick of the Impact player. Hurley to the boards. Tipped in. Ackerman out to play it. That got past Hillier at the point. Hurley couldn't touch it, would have been offside. Now they'll tag up, thrown down the ice. This will go wide of the goal, but it was tipped along the way, so no icing. Held in by Hurley. Throws it behind the goal, comes here to the near corner, up along the boards. Trypan on it first, but it's taken away, and out comes Hurley. Hurley with some speed down the left side. Hurley throwing it in front is tipped wide. Hurley still with it. Out to Price. Price with a bit of room. Threw it through the crease. It'll come back to Boone. Boone with a shot. That goes wide. Price has got it. Doesn't shoot it. It's Parsons. Parsons turning along the board. Cycles it back down low. We got it to Connors. Connors over this side to Hurley. Parsons in the corner. Trying to fish it out. He's got it. Parsons has got it. Hurley tried to shoot it. Comes back to Hurley. Another shot stopped by Ackerman. Hurley has it again. Throws it out in front. Back of the point. Price will hold it in. Backhand off the stick of Lane. Price will hold it in at the left point. Over to Hurley. Impact looking good here in the opening period. Leading 1-0. That shot hit the defense. Comes back all the way to the point to Price. In along the boards. Ingram. Tried to give it back to Price. That was picked off. Price has got it, throws it back in. Impact tag up on the delayed offside, and they will get a change in. Byrne steps out. He's out there now for the Impact. Connors hustles over. It'll come out. Goes to the boards. Coming away with it. Chubbs into the middle, taken by Price. Price to the boards. Connors to Byrne. Byrne in over the blue line. One off the toe of a stick. Weak shot in. Cleared to the corner by Ackerman. And Trypan have it. Trypan get it out to center. No further than that. Tip to the boards. Ingram on it first for the impact. As far as the blue line, Price has been out there a long time. The defenseman for the impact. He's going to stay out there. Boone back to get it. Gives it to Price. Price hit against the boards by Harriman on the forecheck. Comes right out in front. Hounsell's got it. Off the glass, and that'll get out. And Price will head to the bench. Here's Hounsell with a shot. That is stopped by Akerman. To the other side is the impact. Elect to get a change in. Baldwin has it. Under 10 minutes to go in the opening period. About 9.5 left. Byrne fed it out in front. Hounsell with a shot stopped by Akerman. Andrew Akerman's been busy. Shots on goal. 13-1 in favor of the home side. And the face-off will be in the Trypan end. Puck goes to the boards. Jacobs skating away with it. Pass for Green, just a little bit too far for him. They'll go into the corner. Green got a stick on it first for the Osprey. Here's Burke, the goal scorer. Can't get it out. He stopped just inside the blue line. Now it'll come out. Seymour tried to dump it in, hit his teammate. He'll throw it right in front, taken by Snow. Owen Snow puts on the brakes. Gives himself a little bit of space and almost gave it away to the blue line. He did, as that was kept onside, shot in, and that's caught and held by Hicks. Down to 8:41 to go. It's the second shot on goal. They're counting that as a shot on goal. Looked like it may have been going over the top, but doesn't matter a whole lot. Nice crowd on hand here at the Windsor Stadium to take this one in this evening. And it is the home opener. 7:10 tomorrow, 10:10 Sunday morning. We'll have all those games for you here on AO.live. That shot in. Akerman leaves it there for his defense. Taken by the impact as they get in on that forecheck again. Haggett with a shot. Pad save made by Akerman. Jacobs trying to make something happen, just gets rid of it. Out at center, taken by Haggett. Haggett off the boards, back into the Osprey end. Jacobs along the boards, gets it to Hurley-Eye. Comes out at center, good read there by Haggett to intercept that. Haggett with a shot, glove save made by Akerman, and he will hold it. Under 8 to play, opening period. I mentioned earlier when these two teams met in the kickoff tournament, 6-2 win for the Impact. Andrew Akerman not available, but he has been a difference in this one. Just the one goal for the Impact, despite out shooting. Trypenny's going to make another save, holds it in front, scramble there. Finally, the whistle goes. I'm saying, despite the fact that shots are now, I think it should be 16-2, he's just given up the one goal here in this first period. The Impact have thrown everything at him. Scramble draw, sits in the face-off circle, taken by Bath. Eric Bath in behind the goal is Coach Brian Casey getting everybody into the game, rolling all his lines. Back at the point, Landon Gale off the glass, back in deep. Getting to it first, Bath. Bath gets knocked down. Elms can't get it out. Bath has got it. Gets it back down in deep. Bishop in there looking for it for Trypan. Come this side. Price hustling in there. Quinn Price, the defenseman, stepping in. He will step up into the play when the opportunity arises. An offensively minded defenseman. Puck down the corner to our left, goes in behind the goal, taken back there by Trypan. Stolen, Burke's got it. Burke back at the point for Price. Back in behind the goal. Hounsell was looking for it to hit the side of the net. Now Hounsell has it. Hounsell in the corner, leaves it behind the net. Stays back there. Hounsell's on it first. He'll come all the way back to the point. Boone with a shot. That didn't get through. Rebound comes out, and this time it is stopped by Akerman as Hounsell let the shot go from inside the face-off circle. Again, it's taken by the impact. That pass gets past Snow out at the point. He'll get back, gives it to pitcher, and he'll get the return pass. Owen Snow will backhand it in. Back to Snow. Puts it behind the net. Hounsell waiting for it back there. In the corner. Gets it to Hurley. Back to Snow, over to pitcher. Pitcher's got all kinds of room. Steps in, shoots it. Stopped by Akerman. Thrown through the crease. Another shot by Hurley. Stopped by Akerman. Hounsell tried to get it back to the point. That was intercepted. Pitcher's got it at center for the impact. Sends it back in. Hounsell in there first. Byrne tried to play it out in front. Hit the side of the net. Pitcher will hold it in. Throws it to an open corner. Off the boards. Baldwin on it for Tripan, and Baldwin will get rid of it. Snow has got it. Over to pitcher. Up at center. Connors. Pass off the mark, but then it is taken by pitcher and dumped in. Byrne will get to it first for the impact. That shot changed direction, went over the top of the net. Back at the point, Adam Byrne, shot right on goal. Akerman with the save. Rebound to pitcher. Hopped over his stick and went wide. Haggett's got it, holds it in. Badcock was looking for it behind the net for the impact. Now he's got it along the boards. It'll come to an open wing. Haggett's got it, sends it back in. Impact tag up. Flipped out towards the blue line, but not a lot on it. It'll be kept in by the impact. Connors has it. Tried to feed it in front. Backhand. Good pad save made by Akerman. His head to react to that one. Hillier fanned on it. It'll come back to Hillier. He'll try it again. This one goes wide. Off the glass. Up and out of play into the mesh. Under 4 minutes to go. 3:55 left to go in the opening period. 19-2. Shots on goal. Andrew Akerman has been brilliant in goal for the Tripan Osprey. And the puck comes back to the impact blue line, quickly up ahead. That's picked off. That shot by Hogan goes out of play. And the faceoff will stay in the impact end. Gale out towards the blue line. It'll tip out. Hogan has it. Hogan gave it away. Here's Ingram. Ingram turns, shoots. Went off the defenseman. Jacobs' skate went wide. Kept in at the far point. In behind the goal. Jacobs looking for it. Comes to the side of the goal. Impact have it. Stopped by Akerman. Put that one on repeat. Here's Ingram. He's got Gale with him. Ingram with a shot. Stopped by the defense. Ingram with it again. Blocker save made by Akerman. Come out just outside the blue line. Jacobs quickly across to Hogan. Shot in right on goal. Hicks leaves it for Price. Tripan changing. That pass did not connect. Gale plays it into the corner. Quick outlet right to Clendenning. Clendenning down the left side. Clendenning with a shot, missed short side. The key for this Impact team, talking to head coach Brian Casey and the manager Glenn Casey, this team is built for speed. They are very quick, maybe the fastest Impact team we've seen in this, I think their sixth season. That shot blocked in front. Lane in there for Tripen. Puck comes loose in behind the goal. Tripen get it right out in front. Great chance there for Hurley, and Hicks comes up with his best save of the game. First real good scoring chance for the Osprey comes with 1:51 to go here in the first period. The face-off in the Impact end. Comes free back to the point, kept in. That was Bishop. Again, it's thrown in front. Impact there to break that up. Quickly ahead to Hurley, and out they come. Hurley in over the blue line. He'll take it down into the corner, tried to feed it out in front. That was stopped by Clark. Aldrich Clark. Aldrich, a cool name. Like it. Pitcher into the Osprey end, cleared back out. Hounsell has it. Hounsell put on the brakes, turned it over. Here's a chance for the Osprey. Shot, hit the crossbar. Great scoring chance. That was Keegan Elms set up on the 2-on-1 as the Impact turned it over in their own end and rang it off the crossbar. Came that close to making this a 1-1 game. Price, his shot goes wide. Green hustling over to get it. Can't get it out. Kept in by Boone. Boone with a shot right on goal. Easy save there for Ackerman. He's had a lot tougher ones than that this period. Made that one look simple. Face-off controlled by the Osprey. They'll lug it out. Chubbs in over the blue line. Shot in, delayed offside. Back to get it, Price. Good pass to Badcock into the middle. Here's Byrne. Byrne in over the blue line. Offside. Connors in ahead of the play. Down to just 21.6 seconds to go, opening period. Out at center, the Impact with it. Boone tied up over there, right at the center red line. Adam Byrne brought it in, lost control of it. He'll tip it in though, got a stick on it. Tracks it down in behind the goal. Byrne circling the goal, and time runs out here in the opening period. 1-0. Central Impact leading the Tripan Osprey after 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal in that first period, 21-3 in favor of the Impact and Joe Ackerman. The difference in this one, Tripan. A couple of good scoring chances, rang one off the crossbar late in the first period. All right, time for us to take a break. Robert's not here tonight, so we will forego our intermission interview, and we will invite you to come back and join us in about 20 minutes from now, 18 minutes from now for period number 2. You're watching Newfoundland and Labrador U18 Major Hockey League action from the Windsor Stadium here in Grand Falls, Windsor. We have got a one-goal game after 20 minutes of play. A play dominated, or game rather, period, dominated by the Impact. Out shooting the Osprey 21-3, but just 1-0, where it really counts. So we are underway in period number 2. Down the ice, going back to get it. Osprey. No icing as it was tipped by an Osprey player along the way. I wandered around the stadium a little bit between periods, talking to some folks, and a lot of the conversation about the condition of the ice. I started to mention, as this is rung around the boards, this will be an icing call against the Osprey. Started to mention there in the first period about it being a very warm, humid day. A little bit of rain here in Grand Falls. Windsor temperature up around 20 degrees today. Not good for the ice. And there's a lot of water buildup after they did the flood, and they held the players for a couple of minutes. But even now, as you look out, the ice is very shiny, meaning a lot of water is picked off the boards, brought in, shot stopped by Hicks. Comes out in front, and an early chance for the Osprey. Back in behind the goal, Elms fed it out in front. That's cleared to center, and they'll get past the defenseman. Butler back to get it. Logan Butler up through the middle, missed everybody, and again, this will be icing against the Tri-Pen Osprey. Of course, there were really 2 points of emphasis talking to the folks around the stadium. One was the condition of the ice, but probably equally or more importantly, the play of Andrew Akerman in goal for the Osprey. Gave up 1 goal in 21 shots in that opening period. He was brilliant. It's the kind of game that can be a little bit scary. The Impact completely dominated that first period, but just up by 1, and Tri-Pen came within an inch of tying it up in the final couple of minutes of that period. They rang one off the crossbar. So it's a game you dominate, but only 1-0. A shot right on goal, and Hicks had a little bit of trouble with it. He's got it between the pads, didn't handle that cleanly. Wasn't sure where it was, so sat down, and lucky for him, ended up sitting on the puck. Byrne will get waved out as the Impact were late getting a player on the ice. This is Boone back behind his goal to Price, up to Badcock. Stolen, here's Byrne. Byrne's got Connors with him, 2-on-1. Byrne to Connors, back to Byrne, is tipped over the top of the net. Great chance there for the Impact. Boone will lift it into the corner. Byrne can't touch it, delayed offside. Will allow the Osprey to bring it out. See there, the puck sticking on the ice just a little bit. Now it's shot in. Hurley's got it. Hurley cutting in front, lost it. Hounsell following up on it. Kagan Hounsell. Back for Byrne. Byrne behind the goal. Tried to pass it out in front. Puck was mishandled, sent down the ice. Price going back to get it. Hurley in over the blue line, dances in, takes it into the corner. Down behind the net, gives it to Hounsell. Back to the point for Boone, keeps it in with his skate. And it'll be kept in by Price over at the left side. A little scrambly play in behind the net. Hurley threw it through the crease. On at first, Lane can't get it out, kept in by the Impact. Jacobs has it back in the corner in his own end. To the side of the goal, stolen there by Hounsell. You see again, the puck just stuck. A bit of a wet spot there. Boone with a shot. That went over the top of the net. Tough to handle it cleanly out there right now. Hounsell turning, brings it in. Here's Hounsell. Can't get the shot away, stays with it, threw right out in front. Burke with a chance. Ackerman with another save. Burke's got the only goal in this game. Scored on a delayed penalty for the Impact back early in the first. Penalty coming up. It's going to go against Trypan. Price back at the point. In behind the goal. Touched up, and the Impact will go on the power play. Five-on-four power play for the Impact. Face off to Ackerman's left. And this time it's the Osprey slow getting a player out, so the centerman gets waved out. Coming in to take it is Simmons. There's one cleanly by Byrne. Back of the point to Price. Into Bath. Trying to play it behind the goal. That was off the mark and picked off by the Osprey. Sent down the ice. Hicks leaves it for Quinn Price. Price gives it up to Jackson Ingram. Ingram in over the blue line. Ingram cutting in front. Backhand goes wide. Get it back at the point for Price. Over to Bath. Swings it the other side. There's a shot that goes wide. Missed short side. And on the carom will come all the way down the ice back into the Impact end. Price back to get it. He's being watched by Baldwin. Gets away. Price moves it up ahead. Pittman in over the blue line. Stops up down in the corner. Back along the boards for Bath. Back to Pittman quickly. Back to Bath. Try to get it back to the point. Getting in the way of that was the Trypan player. .45 seconds to go in the power play. Hurley trying to work in off the boards. He does. Shot one off the toe of his stick well wide. Comes back to Price. Price at the point will hold it in. Dumps it into the corner. Impact on it first. Hurley. Yeah, tough handling the puck. Hounsell. Byrne holds it. Byrne with a shot stopped by Ackerman. To the corner. Back to Pitcher. Pitcher back at the blue line. Going off the skate of Byrne. Off the boards. He's got it now. Byrne. Pushed along the boards. Sit down into the corner. Go in hunting for it. Just 5 seconds to go in the power play. Byrne getting in front. Can't get it past Ackerman. Penalty is over. And that'll slide right into Liam Hicks, who will hold it right there. A couple of good chances for the Impact. Couldn't add to their total, just still 1-0. 13:55 left to go. Second period. You got a penalty. It'll go against Hounsell of the Impact. Right at the end of that play. So now it'll be a power play for the Osprey. First penalty against the Impact. There have been two called against Trypan. First one, Impact scored on the delayed penalty. So that was really the first 5-on-4 we've seen just a moment ago. Now Trypan will get a chance. Try and even this thing up. Earl. Simmons. This side to Green. That pass off the mark forces Harnham back outside. Back for Simmons, and he's going to go all the way back now in behind his own goal. Throws it up along the boards. Harnham to Earl. Earl gets it in over the blue line, drops it off. Green with a shot. Ends up in the corner. Impact on it, and it'll get out. Just out over the blue line, now cleared down into the Osprey end. Coming back with it is Simmons. They'll go the other side. They'll gain the blue line. Look to set up, but they can as they turn it over, and it's cleared down the ice by Pitcher. Ackerman out to play it. To the boards for Harnum. Harnum with some speed. Got away with one there. Tried to get it to Badcock. Badcock in killing time. Elms, he stopped at the blue line. 40 seconds to go in the power play. There's a shot stopped by Hicks and rebound taken and cleared down the ice by the impact. Ackerman sets it up back there, leaving it for Simmons. He'll play it into the corners. The impact around in there pressing. Stolen by Clendenning. His shot up high, out of play into the mesh. Not sure if Ackerman got a piece of that. Yes, he did, because they're saying the face-off will stay in the Trypan end. Face-off win for Trypan. 20 seconds to go in their man advantage. One off a stick to the far boards. Picked up by Haggett. Haggett will bring it in shorthanded. Drops it off. That shot off a leg of the defense. Comes to the near boards. On it first, Lane. They'll come back to Bishop. Nathan Bishop behind his goal. To Lane. Just gets it out over the blue line, and the penalty has now expired. Impact on it, down in the corner. So neither team able to take advantage of their power play here in the second. They've had one each. Got just under 11 and a half to go here in the second. Jacobs. Over to Chubbs, try to give it back. That was stolen. Taken back by Lane. Lane out at center off his skate. Snow has it. Price. That was knocked down by Chubbs and kept in for the Osprey. Chubbs with it just inside the blue line, fed it in front. Went off the skate of Snow, and back come the impact. Hurley back at the point. Snow swings it the other side. Price, his shot, that got through. Changed direction, went just wide. Snow on it, couldn't hold it in. Hurley will bring it all the way back out over center. It'll turn on the Jets and head down the left side. Hurley into the middle. That shot kicked away by Ackerman. Hurley's got it again. Hurley into the slot area. Up high, shot right on goal. Ackerman has it. No rebound. We talked earlier about the speed of the Central Impact, how quickly they can transition from defense to offense. We saw it there. Hurley, great skater. Face-off won by Harnum for Trypan. Comes the other side. Price will pinch in from the left point, hold it in, gets it behind the goal for Burke. Burke trying to spin away, couldn't find the puck. A couple of Osprey players in there. Impact come up with it. Hurley to the other side to Price. He lost it. It's chipped out to center. Osprey on it first, get it in over the blue line. Tried to throw it in front, intercepted by Burke, who did a good job to get back to break that up. Harnum was looking for it. Ingram stopped by Green. Harnum plays it back to his defense. Thrown out into the slot, nobody there. Green's got it for the Osprey. Up ahead, off the stick of Elms. Boone put on the brakes, and then he was steamroll, came right out in front. They score! Miscommunication behind the goal for the Impact. Osprey jump on it, and we are tied at 1. Here it is. Nobody out in front for the Impact. Keegan Elms left all alone in front of the goaltender, and he has tied it up. come in again. Went off the toe of the stick. Adam Byrne trying to cut in. He squeezed out, got the shot away, put it wide. And it's cleared away by the Osprey. Hillier back to get it. Again, we're saying it's one of those games can be a little scary if you're a fan of the Impact. Your team completely controlled that first period. Complete domination. Only led it 1-0 and now find themselves tied. Haggett. That'll get out. Butler going back to get it for Tripen. Butler around the boards. Hounsell on it first for the Impact. He gets to it. Hounsell getting free. Hounsell coming off the boards. Gets a shot. Stopped by Butler. Down into the side of the goal. Akerman with another save. Back at the point. It gets out. Snow back inside his own blue line. Up for Byrne. Byrne with a partial break. Byrne, and a great defensive play there by Simmons as he got back and knocked the puck off the stick of Adam Byrne. Byrne had half a step, but Simmons with the long reach, able to make up and broke it up. Bath tried to feed it in front, off the stick of Jacobs into the corner. Clendenning back at the point. Tipped in by Pitcher, shot. It's in the crease, it's loose. Scramble there, and Tripan able to clear it out. Earl. Knocked out of the air by Pitcher. Kept in by the Osprey. Here they come again, feeding it out in front. Unable to get a stick on it was Adam Burry. Now Burry turns, fires it wide, comes around the boards. It'll come out. Over on the other side to get it is Bishop. Back to Jacobs. Jacobs had it knocked off a stick by Bath. Akerman comes out to play it. I believe it touched somebody at the Impact bench. It did, so the faceoff will come outside the blue line. 7:09 to go to second period. 1-1 tie. Three-game series between these two teams this weekend. 7:10 tomorrow and 10:10 Sunday morning here at the Windsor Stadium. That's stolen. In comes Chubbs. Chubbs had the puck kind of stick on him. Stuck on the ice, didn't blind. He ended up not getting a shot away. It's turned over. Hurley holding it, shoots. That hit the goal post. They're even on goals and they're even on hitting the iron. Tripan hit the crossbar late in the first. There's one off the goal post for the Impact. Hurley quickly ahead. Badcock was knocked down. Hurley following up on it. He's had a heck of a game. Fed it in front. They're saying it's a goal. It went off the skate. It definitely went off the skate of the Impact player, but not kicked in. He didn't make any kicking motion. Let's have a quick peek. Hurley brings it in, the backhand, and there's the Impact player. Went off his skate in the back of the net. Tough break for Andrew Akerman. Lucky break for the Impact. The referee was there and immediately signaled good goal. The player cutting in front was putting on the brakes. The puck hit his skate, went in. There was no kicking motion. Good goal, 2-1. Hounsell circling the goal. Tries the wraparound. Akerman is there and he stops the rebound as well. That was Burke looking for it. Kalen Connors gets the goal. And we've got a penalty coming up. It's going to go against Tripen. Delayed penalty. Green touches it up. And the Impact will go back on the power play. It'll be Connor Green heading to the penalty box. Goes up in the air. Russell got a stick on it for Trypan. Matt Russell, he'll send it down into the corner, trying to kill a little bit of time. Now the Impact will bring it out up through the middle. Adam Byrne. Byrne holding it, drops it off. That shot fanning on it was Burke. Set up nicely. Hurley puts on the brakes inside the blue line. He's got it. In front for Hounsell, and again, Acom in perfect position, takes it right in the crest. No rebound. Very impressed with Anthony Hurley of the Impact in this game. He's been flying. Down to 5:06 to go here in the second period. 2-1 lead. Impact over the Osprey. Byrne. Haven going wide. Ackerman got the glove on it. Directed it behind the goal. He's back to Byrne. Down to Boone. Boone to Byrne. Byrne again leaves it for Boone. Now back to the point for Pitcher. And Pitcher mishandled it. Will get past him. He's going to go all the way back into his own end. That went off the stick of the Osprey player. It goes over the glass over in the far side of the arena. .45 seconds to go in the penalty against the Osprey. Snow will knock it down. He'll go back in front of his own goal to get it. It's Owen Snow. He'll leave it. And Jack Boone will bring it out. Head to Connors. Connors cutting in. Drops it off. Ackerman with yet another save. And cleared by the Osprey. 20 seconds to go in the man advantage for the Impact. Boone winding up. Boone up through the middle. Boone in over the blue line. Boone keeps going. Swings wide. Gets a shot. Hit the outside of the net. Ends up in behind the goal. Cleared out. And that'll do it for the penalty. Impact still with it. Connors behind the goal. Still sitting back there, just below the goal line. Gale looking for it. Gale has got it. Gale circling the goal, pushed against the boards. Hogan's all over him. He'll come back to the point for Snow. Snow swings it the other side. Haggett with his shot. Hit some traffic in front, didn't get through. In front, tried to get it to Ingram, who was cutting in there. Pass was picked off, and it'll go to the far boards. Haggett on it first. Gets past the defenseman for the Osprey. No icing as it was touched. Hogan back to get it. Off the boards. Ingram able to hold it in. Clendenning. Go to the boards on it first. Trypan. Send it out. Go back in. Hogan with it. Bath trying to get in on the forecheck. Hogan trying to spin away from him. Hogan's got him cornered behind the goal. So try and work it out towards the blue line over the far side. It'll come out. Impact have it. They'll swing it this side. Here's Hurley. Hurley in over the blue line. Hurley with a shot. Stop by Ackerman. Rebound is there. Another stop by Ackerman. Comes out into the slot. Cleared away by the Osprey. Osprey down over the right side into the middle for Earl. Pass went under his stick. Touched up, and that'll be offside against the Tri-Pen Osprey. We're down to a minute 57 to go here in the second period. 2-1 lead for the Impact over the Osprey. Adam Byrne brings it in over blue line, drops it for Hurley. Hurley looked like he had a chance to cut in front of the goal, lost the handle as the stuck again. Here's a giveaway, thrown in front. Russell with a shot, that went off of Boone behind the goal. Price back there. Price has got it. Gets it up ahead. Byrne to Badcock. Byrne heading for the front of the goal. Simmons just got a stick on it to redirect the puck away from Byrne. Now they'll go to the boards, 4 of them. Price out in front, a great pass from Hurley to Byrne, and another stop by Ackerman. Coming back the other way, Gavin Lane. Lane threw it right through the crease, comes out the other side, kept in by the Osprey. Quinn Price has it. Ahead for Adam Byrne. Byrne's got Badcock with him. The trailer was Hurley. It went off the Osprey stick. Came out to center, then shot in by the Impact, delayed offside. To the middle, Pittman. Got a piece of that one for the Impact. Boone plays it back behind his goal. Price into the corner. A funny bounce off the boards, came out in front, kept in by the Osprey. Price has got it again behind his goal. Quickly up through the middle. Burke couldn't quite catch up to it. Now it's brought in. Here's Hounsell. Burke didn't get back out in time, so that'll be offside. Pittman, shot stopped by Ackerman. Pittman's got it again. That shot stopped by Ackerman. Back of the point, Snow has got it. Snow likes to just put it in behind the goal. Smart play, nowhere to go with it. As the buzzer goes to end the second period, still a 1-goal lead for the Impact. They led it 1-0 after the opening 20 minutes of play. Tri-Pen came back, tied it up, and then on a goal that went off the skate of the Impact player but was ruled a good goal, Impact regained that 1-goal lead. Shots on goal after 2 periods of play, 32-8 in favor of the Impact, yet it is a 1-goal game. And down below us we see the reason why this is a 1-goal game. Andrew Ackerman, as he heads off, gets himself a drink of water. Well earned. He's had an incredible game for Tri-Pen. He gets pats on the back from his teammates as he heads off. We'll take a break here in this second intermission. We'll be back with this game between the Central Impact and the Tri-Pen Osprey in about 18 minutes from now. Come back and join us, please. So, folks, just to break in here with a little announcement on what's happening. You may be wondering why we haven't started the third period. There's been an issue with the Zamboni here at the Windsor Stadium. It stopped working. That's as technical as I can get with that, but it's not working. Out on the ice, you can see there, they went out and started to make a run around and then kind of gave up the ghost. So what they're trying to decide now, down at the far end in the entrance, there's the backup machine. That's the Olympia brand name as opposed to the Zamboni. And I think the two teams are discussing whether or not they want to wait, because that has to be filled with water, wait and have the ice done, which would be a considerable delay, or if they'll go ahead and play with the ice as it is. And that's going to be up to the two teams to decide. So we're just waiting for that announcement. So we will wait as you wait, and when they make a decision, we'll pop back in and let you know right away. So in the meantime, just stay with us. Third period will get underway at some time. We just don't know when. Anyway, hang in there, folks. Well, so folks, as you can probably see as you're watching the screen, the replacement ice resurfacer. I won't call it a Zamboni. Zamboni broke. We've got the Olympia out there now. They've decided to do the ice. So we're going to be another little while before we get underway with the third period. To get the ice redone, get the teams out here. Got a 2-1 game. Impact leading the Trypan Osprey after 2 periods of play. So we'll continue with our second intermission until they finish doing the ice, and then we'll be back with period number 3. So after a lengthy second intermission, we are about to get underway here, here in the third period. This game between the Impact and the Osprey. Impact lead it 2-1 after 40 minutes of play. Now they had one of the Zamboni stopped working, so they get the Olympia out. That does the job right off the bat. You see Bath and Elms kind of jostling the side of the face-off circle. And out come the Osprey. Get it in over the blue line. Boone back to get it. Boone over the other side looking for Hurley. Hurley sweeps it out to center. Simmons leaves it out at center. Shot in by Connors. It's a delayed offside. Will allow the Osprey to move it out. Get it out over the blue line now to an open wing. Hustling over to get it is Price, the defenseman for the Impact, Quinn Price. He has assumed the captaincy for the Impact. Zach King was their captain last year. He has moved on. Hurley over the blue line. Hurley drops it off. Shot kicked away by Ackerman. Just wondering how the long delay might affect the goaltender for Tripen. Apparently didn't affect him negatively. There's a shot, goes wide. Missed it short side. Chance in front of the Impact goal. Finally it'll be cleared and does get out rather. Hurley will bring it back for the Impact. Hurley down the left side, takes a little bump along the boards. Kept in by Hounsell. In behind the goal. Hogan back to get it for Tripen. Hogan looking for Earl. Came off the stanchion out into the middle of the ice. Tripen on it again. This is Burry. Turned over at center. Byrne brings it back. Adam Byrne cutting in, gets a shot away. Stopped by Ackerman. Puck down in the corner. Jacobs moves it up along the boards, and Tripen will bring it out. Earl in over the blue line. Long shot off the blocker of Hicks. Up and out of play. Play just under 2 minutes here in the third period of this game. To be honest, the ice looks a little better than it did in the second period. I think they put a little less water on it when they brought out the second machine. They debated whether they would play without doing a flood or wait for the second machine to be available and do that. The teams thought it would be best to get the ice done, get it as good as we can get it for this third period. And that led to the delay, but the ice looks not too bad here to start this third period. Off the skate of Pitcher. He'll leave it up along the blue line. They'll move it ahead. Burke gets tossed to the ice. Tripen come the other way. Lane up the middle. Trying to track it down along the left boards. Puts on the brakes. He lost it. He'll come down the ice. He'll go all the way to Ackerman, and he will hold it, and the face-off will be in the Tripen end. Puck goes to the end boards. Poke to the side. Chubbs has it. Puck goes up in the air, sits in the face-off circle, played back in. Gale on it, threw it out in front, they score! Badcock from Gale. Tripen looked like they had a chance to clear it. The puck went off a stick, went way up in the air, back in behind the net. Gale got to it. Here it is. Here's Gale getting to that puck, fed it out in front. Badcock is there. Goes down to one knee, a la Sid the Kid. Bangs it home. And a big goal for the Impact as they now take a 3-1 lead. Ackerman pokes it into the corner. Thrown right in front, they score! Hurley! Talked about how well he's been playing, and he finally gets one. And now the Impact able to solve Ackerman a little bit here in the early part of this third period. Now open up a 4-1 lead. Again behind the goal, it's the forechecking of the Impact. It's stolen there. It's Badcock out in front. Hurley, and it is 4-1. And you can't blame Ackerman for either one of those. Pass out in front to a player alone in the slot. Shot in, blockered away by Hicks. There's a shot right in front, and Hicks with a great save. Terrific chance for Burry alone in front. Just announcing the first of those 2 goals now. That's gloved ahead. There's a glove pass and offside. Gale picks up a couple of assists. Price brings it back in for the Impact. Down into the corner, Byrne trying to play it out in front, ends up in behind the goal, and Trypen come away. Get it out to center, played right back in. Hogan's got it back in his own end, gives it to Simmons. So it's Jacobs looking for Hogan. Impact in there to break that up. Puck goes high in the air. Connors has got it, drops it. Play continues. Connors at the side of the goal, trying to play it back to the point for Price. That was intercepted. Out comes Lane. Bath over to the other side. Quickly ahead. Byrne breaking in. Byrne is hauled down. That's going to be a penalty against Trypen. So they touch it up. And a fairly obvious hooking call as Byrne trying to get around the defense, doing the old outside-inside move. Hogan got the stick up into the Impact player. So a 5-on-4 power play for the Impact. They now lead it 4-1. It's under 15 minutes to play here in the third. Face-off win for Trypen. They'll send it down the ice. Hicks back there, tees it up for pitcher. Ahead for Byrne. Byrne down the right side. Takes it into the corner all the way around behind the goal. Into the slot looking for Hounsell. Hounsell couldn't get a shot away. He'll track it down along the boards. Hounsell back at the point for Hurley. Rips it across the other side. Went past pitcher. It'll force Byrne out into center. They'll have to try and regain the zone. Byrne will bring it in. Drops it off. And that pass was left for the defense but sniffed out by Nolan Harnham of Trypen, and he cleared it down the ice. Hurley quickly ahead. Hurley gets the return pass. Boy, this guy got wheels. Very impressive game here for Anthony Hurley. Pitcher. Set it up back at the point over here for Hurley into the slot. A little bit too far for Hounsell and off his stick. And Osprey send it the length of the ice. Impact will change their forwards. Except for Byrne, who stays out there. Byrne trying to get around the defense. Had it taken away. This one on the power play. You might want to do a little more with it. And Hicks does a good job to keep the play moving. Under 30 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Badcock. Stops up just inside the blue line, protecting the puck. Slides it into the slot. They throw it around. Connors couldn't shoot it. Back for Pittman. Pittman holding it. Leaves it along the boards. This is Bath. He lost it, and it'll be sent down the ice by Chubbs, and that's going to do it as the penalty now expires. Pittman into the corner. He'll keep on going. Bath reaching for it. Bath holds it in, back at the right point. Now it'll come out. Throw it to this side. Chubbs, just dump it in. Hustling in to try and get to it first. It's Hurley. I threw it in front. Haggett. Cross ice pass, nobody there. It goes all the way down the ice, and that'll be an icing call as Jacobs hustles back. Face-off control by the Impact. Price up through the middle. Finds Gale. Gale into the middle. Looking for Parsons. They collide. Puck comes loose to the boards. Haggett will pinch in from the left point. Able to hold it in. Now it'll come out. Down the ice, and this will be an icing call against the Osprey. Impact trying to make a late change. Referee Chad Legg says, nope, nope, nope. Everybody go back. We waited too long. Gale wins the faceoff cleanly back to Haggett. That one off of Burry. Impact stay with it. That shot just wide by Parsons. He's back through the blue line. Haggett's got it, puts it towards the front of the goal. It's deflected, and Ackerman makes a couple of saves. Burry shoots it in right into the glove of Hicks, and he will hang on to it. 11:21 to go here in the third period. Trypan win the faceoff, can't get the shot through to the goal rather. That one also knocked down. There's a shot. That one gets through. Hicks with the save. Puck bouncing around in the goal, and finally the referee blows the whistle. Get out over the blue line, played back in. And back to the blue line, so no offside. Strypan bring it in, down in the corner. Get it in around behind the net. Looking for it there was Chubbs. Impact get it. Burke to center, dumps it in. Connors threw it to the front of the goal, went off somebody, ended up in behind. Burke's got it back there, back at the point. Long shot in. Ackerman makes the blocker save, clears it to the boards. Byrne in looking for it. Burke is there. Burke's got it. He's pinned against the boards. Puck goes in behind the net. On it first is Byrne. Threw it right out in front, went between the defenseman's skates, and finally cleared away by the Osprey. Price ahead for Byrne. Byrne in over the blue line, feeds it for Burke. Burke tried the little toe drag, was blocked by the defense. There's Bishop Blocked the shot. Hounsel turning in the face-off circle, back at the point. They change direction, comes to the near boards, kept in by Price. Hounsel had the puck hop over his stick. They try the wraparound, scores! Just relentless forechecking by the Impact in this game. It's going to be Adam Byrne, I believe, with the goal. Let's take a peek. Well, the first one comes to Hounsel. He tried to shoot it, went off his stick, out in front, and Byrne gets it. Made the pass to Hounsel. Hounsel couldn't get the shot away, went back to Byrne. Byrne stepped out from behind the goal and makes it 5-1. Hurley in looking for more. Hurley put on the brakes, left the puck there, and Osprey will clear it out. Russell. Long shot in, cleared away by Hicks. Russell on it and behind the goal, gets it into the corner. Back at the point. Just kept in. Russell backhands it in a little deeper. On it first was Pitcher. Plays it to the boards. Again kept in. Lane with a shot. That's stopped. Hounsel. That'll hit the stanchion over the glass. A little push, a little shove. Nothing more. That comes into the near corner. Hounsel has it. Hounsel for Pittman. That's broken up just inside the blue line. Snow to Pitcher. Up ahead to Hurley. Hurley squeezes past the defender, keeps on going. Hurley puts on the brakes down in the corner, trying to protect the puck. He'll come back to the point. Snow able to walk in, shoots. Blocker save made by Akerman. Big collision at center. Both players go down, Russell and Pitcher. Call that one a draw. Pitcher's got it. And he'll bring it in over the blue line. Gives it to Badcock. Badcock pulls it back, shoots it. Akerman with the save. Sliding in there to try and get the shot on goal was Badcock. Actually, I think he succeeded in getting the shot on goal after he was knocked down. Going to be a penalty coming up against the Osprey. A frustration penalty there. Both players were heading to the respective benches. The Osprey player tripped up Pitcher of Impact. So it'll be a power play interference call against the Osprey. Time clock seems to have slipped a little bit. I'll give it to you verbally so we get a chance to fix it. Right now, Impact on the power play. Akerman's got it, holds on to it. Back at the point. Again, kept in by the impact. Back at the point again to Hurley. He'll circle. Good battle in front of the goal. Hurley, shot, scores! Anthony Hurley, his second of the game, as Impact have broken it open here in the third. There's a power play goal. Pascrassi's got pretty much the empty net, makes no mistake. And with the power play goal, the Impact now lead it 6-1. Down the ice into the Impact end. Just over 6 minutes to go in this one. And that's held by Ackerman. The more I play with this time clock, the worse I'm making it, I think, folks. Let's get back to the game. I'll give it to you verbally. All right, Trypan on it as we have got 4:40 to go. Third period. Now a 6-1 lead in favor of the Impact. Pittman. Just a 2-1 game after 2 periods of play, but the Impact have broken it open here in the third with 4 goals. And there's a giveaway in front of the goal. Able to recover. Badcock. Pitcher. Through the middle for Hurley. And here goes Hurley again. Puts it behind the goal. Somehow gets to it. A couple of Osprey players in there. Puck squirts loose. Badcock's got it. Around behind the goal. Hurley tried to tip it out in front. It comes in front. Badcock is in there. Ackerman makes a save. And finally, the Osprey get there and clear it from in front of their own goal. Hurley gets hit behind the goal as he gets a little bit physical down in the Impact end. 3.5 to go. Ackerman out to play it to the boards. And behind the net. Impact on it. Into the slot. Badcock with a shot. Stopped by Ackerman. Take it around behind the goal. Come all the way back to the point. Snow doesn't shoot it. Get it into the high slot. Pittman down alongside of the goal, scores! Didn't look like there was a whole lot of room on that near post. Adam Byrne, his second. Say, not much room between Ackerman and the post, but Byrne found it. And the score goes to 7-1. Three minutes left to play. You had a feeling when it was 2-1 for the Impact. One of two things was going to happen. Either this, the Impact would finally get going and find a way to solve Andrew Ackerman and blow it open, because they had complete domination of the game, certainly in shots on goal. Either that, or it could go the other way, and you have all those chances and can't score, and the other team comes back and beat you with a couple of goals late after you've controlled the game. And the Impact of taking care of business here in the third period. A minute and a half left to go here in this one. Almost a giveaway. Bury couldn't catch up to it. Impact can't get it out. Now it'll squeak out over the blue line. Clendenning takes it back into his own end. Up ahead for Parsons. That was tipped by Bury. Bury gets knocked down at the blue line. And the Impact come away. Parsons knocked off his stick. Seymour has it. And the Price. Over here to the near boards. Haggett jumping on it. We've now got 1 minute to go in this game. The Impact continue to throw it around. That shot, that may have grazed the crossbar over the right shoulder of Ackerman. 30 seconds left. That was shot in by Burke. 10 seconds left. Badcock tried to shoot it in. It went over the glass, so we'll get another face-off just outside the blue line. And again, a reminder, we'll do this again tomorrow evening here at the Windsor Stadium, 7:10 scheduled puck drop. And then Sunday morning, 10:10 scheduled puck drop. We'll have those games for you here on AO.live. And the plan is to have Robert Golding join me for tomorrow evening's game. He's playing in a golf tournament this weekend. There's the final buzzer. Final score, 7-1 in favor of the Impact. Shots on goal, equally one-sided, 45-13 for the home side. So it was a good opening night for the Central Impact. This is their first home game of the regular season. And they take care of business. As I said, a little TCB for the Impact. On behalf of cameraman Jason Power, my name is George Scott. Folks, have yourselves a great night, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow. let that play out.